Imagine a story where the scariest thing isn't a monster in the dark. It's a room full of people smiling at you while quietly rewriting what just happened. My name is Amelia Khan. Gas-to-Light is the world I built to tell the truth about that kind of harm when I can't safely tell it directly. In this video, I want to show you what Gas-to-Light really is, where it comes from, and why it might feel uncomfortably familiar. Gas-to-Light is a psychological thriller about a family, a community, and a system that all depend on one person doubting their own reality. It's fiction, but it's fiction built from patterns that are very real. At the surface level, it's a story, characters, places, events. Underneath, it's a map of coercive control, gaslighting, family secrets, and institutional betrayal. There is a home where love and harm live in the same room. There is a wider community where everyone seems to know something is wrong, but nobody wants to say it. And there are the institutions, schools, services, systems that are all supposed to protect people, but quietly choose reputation over truth. Gas-to-Light exists in 3 layers. There is the book that I'm writing. There are short visual scenarios on the Gas-to-Light channel that drop you into key moments. And there is this channel where I stand slightly outside the story and talk about what those moments mean. If you stay with this series, you'll get both the thriller and the translation. When I say built from very real harm, I don't mean that I copied one person's life and changed the names. I mean that every dynamic in the story is something people have described in therapy rooms, in survivor forums, in late night conversations where they finally felt safe enough to be honest. Some of those dynamics come from my own experience. Some come from patterns I've seen repeat again and again in different families and systems. For example, the person whose feelings and memories are constantly questioned. That never happened. You're too sensitive. You always twist things. Then there are the rules that keep changing. What was allowed yesterday is punished today. What is respectful depends entirely on who has the power in that moment. Then there are the institutions that protect their image instead of the vulnerable person. The school or workplace or service that says, "We'll look into it," but really it means, "We'll quietly make sure this goes away." And finally, the family members who absolutely know something is wrong, but decide that keeping the peace is more important than keeping you safe. Gas-to-Light blends these patterns into one fictional universe. So no single character is a direct copy of a real person, but the emotional truth is intact. Some of the dynamics inside Gas-to-Light intersect with parts of my own lived experience. But Inaya is not me. She is a deliberately constructed protagonist, built from recurring patterns that I have observed, studied, and at times personally encountered. Gas-to-Light is not autobiography. It is psychological architecture. Fiction creates distance, distance creates clarity, and clarity makes it possible to examine harm without exposing the real people inside it. I want to give you an example so this doesn't stay abstract. Let me show you what Gas-to-Light looks like in practice. Imagine this. Inaya is asked to come into the living room. The chairs are already arranged. 3 people are seated, waiting. The door closes behind her. One of the people smiles gently and says, "We just want to talk." The tone is calm, measured, almost kind. But the conversation unfolds with something like this. "You've been distant lately," or "You're reading too much into things." Inaya tries to explain a specific moment, something that was said, something that felt wrong. Before she finishes, another voice says, "That's not what happened." A third adds, "You always twist things." And the first one leans forward. We're saying this because we love you. Notice what just happened. No shouting, no threats, no obvious violence, and yet Inaya walks out of that room doubting her own memory. Inside Gas-2-Light, we slow this moment down. What are the mechanics? Collective reinforcement, that's multiple people aligning to stabilize one version of reality. Or tone masking, soft voices used to deliver destabilizing messages. Or is it preemptive character framing, labeling her sensitive before she can assert clarity? Or is it love as leverage, when they say, we're doing this for you? This is not conflict resolution. This is controlled narrative alignment. And the most destabilizing part? If she leaves upset, it confirms their thesis. See, you're overreacting. The trap is circular. My work on this channel is to take these scenes and gently name what is happening underneath. Not to diagnose your family or anyone else, but to give you a language for patterns that you may have felt but never had words for. If any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, this channel is for you. If you grew up in a home where you were always too much, too sensitive, or the difficult one, even when you were the one pointing at something obviously wrong. If you've tried to speak up at school or work or within a community, and somehow you ended up treated as the problem. If you have ever sat in a quiet room and thought, maybe I am crazy, or maybe they just don't want to see what I see, then I made Gas-2-Light with you in mind. This channel is a place to borrow language for what you've been through, see patterns from a safer distance by watching them play out in fiction, feel less alone and less wrong for noticing. I'm not here to tell you what to do in your own life. I can't see your situation in detail, and I'm not your therapist or your lawyer. What I can offer is stories that treat your confusion as sane, explanations that assume you are not broken for noticing patterns, and gentle validation for what's happening to you that may actually be as serious as it feels. If anything, should these videos hit too close, it's okay to pause. It's okay to step away, take a breath, get a drink of water, write down what came up, or talk to someone supportive if you have that option. If Gas-2-Light sounds like a world you recognize, I'd like to invite you to stay. You can subscribe to this channel so you don't miss new episodes and breakdowns. If you prefer something shorter and more visual first, you can also watch the Gas-2-Light shorts on a separate channel. These drop you straight into the moments from the story. I can't promise a neat, easy story with a perfect happy ending. Life doesn't always work that way. What I can promise is honesty, care, and the intention that every piece of content moves in the same direction. Not just surviving the gaslight, but slowly, carefully moving from gas to light. If that's the journey you want to take, you're welcome to walk it here with me in the shadows and toward the light.